Hello, my name is Devin with HDpiano.com, and in today's lesson I'll be showing you guys how to play Patience by the Lumineers. It's the last track on their 2016 album Cleopatra, and it's a lovely piano part. Sounds like this. 3, 4. All right, so we'll get through about that much here in part 1. Eventually, we'll basically repeat all of that down the octave, so down here. But just by learning this part 1, you've essentially learned about half the piece, but we'll finish off the rest of the song in part 2 over at HDpiano.com. And we'll also talk about ways that we can take this style and just apply it to any chords. Say you wanted to play something in G sharp minor. All right. So this is just another style. It's another approach to playing piano. It's very formulaic, and we'll go over exactly what's going on here in just a second. But you can use it not only in this song, but in any song. Anytime you're reading chords and you're like, hey, I want to make this sound like that Patience song. Well, you'll know how to do that. So before we dive in, quick question. I want you to drop a line in the comments. Talk about a time that Patience has served you well. All right. Let's get started. We're in the key of B major. B, D sharp, and F sharp in the left hand. This is a root position B major triad. And middle C, by the way, is here, so we're very high up the keyboard. It's an unusually high and sparkly, tinkly song. So we start our right hand with octaves on B. So this is our general shape, and we're going to be hanging out in this register for quite some time until we take it down the octave. Let's look at the left hand first. It's very simple. The first two measures are the same chord 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, anybody should be able to pull that off. Now, let's get into some nitty-gritty here about the rhythm. So although I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, if you're looking at the sheet music, you might realize that it's in 12/8. You're like, wait a minute, what? So that means there are 12 eighth notes, and 12 eighth notes is the same as, wait, how does this work? 4 times 3, right? So there are 3 eighth notes per beat that I'm counting. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So while the left hand is playing dotted quarter notes, meaning 3 eighth notes tied together, the right hand is playing eighth notes in groupings of 3. So the reason this all kind of matters is because if you look at the right hand part, it's just going between 2 notes. There's a bit of a mathematical equation here where the right hand is playing groupings of 2 in 3, and then the left hand is just chugging away. So notice that the first B hits with the left hand, and then the top B hits it with it the second time. All right, so the general rhythm here is, for every 2 times I play my left, I play my right hand thumb 3 times. It's a 3/2 pattern, and we're just doubling the octave in every eighth note in between. So if you're able to do this, then you'll be set for the rest of the song. It's just a matter of learning the notes. But I want you to be 100% confident with this pattern, because if you jump ahead and try to start incorporating new notes, it's going to throw you off. You really want to have a solid understanding of what's going on here. So just try playing this along with me. All right. Now, we'll skip the passing chords here and just move on to what is the bulk of the next 2 measures. And that's E and G sharp in the left, keeping the B on bottom. So B, E, G sharp. This is an E major second inversion triad with a D sharp on top. All right, so that's our second chord. So basically we play 2 measures of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we switch to this chord. All right, this should be approachable for most beginners. We go back to the first chord. We'll we'll look at those passing tones in a second, and then we come back to this chord. Now here, we have this chord, which is an F sharp on top, changing that G sharp to a G natural. This gives us E minor with the 9th on top. So those are essentially the only chords we're working with. B major, E major with the D sharp or the major 7 on top, back to B major, back to E major 7, and then E minor 9. All right, that's for the first 8 measures. Now let's look at those little moments where the right hand kind of creeps up or creeps back down. So we'll drop the left hand for a bit. The second measure, boom, bum, boom, bum, boom, bum. We play through the first 2 beats just as normal, and we land on the B, and then we're gonna play C sharp, down, up, C double sharp, up, and then land on D sharp. So it would be technically 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Second half of that measure of 12, 8. So we play the first 2 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And we're at measure 3 now. And that's all happening with the left hand just staying put. It's a little awkward, I'm not gonna lie. When I first started learning this, I was like, wait, that feels kind of weird. But, you'll get it eventually. So just practice that nice and slow. 2, 3, 4, oops, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, so moving ahead, skipping 1 measure, and we're gonna look at how this chord comes back down to B major. Kind of the same idea. We play the thumb as expected on the downbeat of beat 3, and then we go to C sharp, C sharp, C sharp, and then instead of going up, we come down to B. So that whole measure would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we repeat the first 2 measures. And we repeat the second 2 measures. But here, we jump up to F sharp. All right, with that G natural in the left. So we play 4 F sharps, low, high, low E to high E. All right, so there's the first 8 measures. Just a couple little measures left, but let's recap those first 8 real quick, nice and slow. See if you can play along. 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back down. And back up. Now on beat 3, we're going to F sharp, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now here, starting off our 9th measure, we have the same shape in the left, but now we have D sharp in the right, and we just play through the measure. Right hand comes down to C sharp. And that's a C sharp major chord in the left hand, second inversion. G sharp, C sharp, and E sharp. This is like a 2 major chord. And that's gonna come down to E major with G sharp, B, and E in the left. First inversion, root, first, and second inversion, which we already saw. And we've got B's in the right. We're gonna stop there as far as learning patience goes, but have patience and start slowly, work your way through this at a nice slow pace, making sure that you understand what's going on, because also it's just such a handy style to know. I don't want you to throw this away and just kind of like haphazardly learn it. I really want you to figure out what's going on. So again, 3 groupings of 3 in the right. Simple way could be to just kind of let's go back to let's go to F sharp major. All right, so there's the same rhythm, but with groupings of 3 in the right, and it sounds kind of boring. Almost classical, right? Now watch if I just turn those into groupings of 2 in the right. gets a lot more interesting, right? So this is a super handy style, and you could use it with just octaves like we did in the Lumineers song. So. All right, for some reason I'm in F sharp. You know, this song's in B, so you could do it in this key. Just playing around with some diatonic chords. And again, those are the chords that just are derived from the key signature, and I have a whole series about this type of stuff, learning those chords. But if you know those chords, you can just confidently play around with this style and have fun. So not only did you just learn the first bit of Patience by the Lumineers, but you have a kind of a new trick up your sleeve for next time you see a chord chart. So have fun with that, and I hope to see you over at part 2 at HDpiano.com to learn the rest. While you're here, please like and subscribe on YouTube, follow us on social media, and keep in touch because you want to know about those upcoming tutorials. My name's Devin. We'll talk to you soon.